Hello, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Mary, and together we are the Joint General Secretaries of the National Education Union. The NEU has been working to keep members, schools and communities as safe as possible during this pandemic.
And we have also championed teaching and learning and strongly campaigned with the government to support education during this awful time. Our members tell us that their working environments are becoming more pressured and unstable. Our school leaders are working under intolerable pressures, and the vast majority are doing all they can for their pupils and staff.
Just keeping schools and colleges running and students educated has pushed teachers, leaders and support staff to the point of exhaustion. Excessive workload is adding to an already extremely stressful situation. Many of our members feel that their workplaces are not safe.
Colleagues are absent from school through illness or because they're self-isolating, and the workload intensifies for those still at work. Government pressure to keep pupils in the classroom is leading in some places to bad practice, like compromising the integrity of bubbles, reducing lunchtimes and support staff being required to teach classes.
And members are worried about the very difficult lives too many of our children lead in poverty and deprivation, something compounded by Covid-19. Some members at higher risk are finding that their risk assessments are not being adhered to and requests to work from home not granted. Some say there is secrecy about Covid-19 outbreaks, bubbles being compromised through classes doubling up, poorly ventilated classrooms, inadequate cleaning and impossible social distancing.
Government ministers' ideological obsessions are leading to poor decisions. Ministers are insisting that GCSEs and A-levels will go ahead largely unchanged, even though this year's students have missed 5 months of in-school teaching and attendance this term is becoming erratic as pupils are sent home to isolate.
Ofsted's decision to resume full school inspections in January means that some leaders are imposing in-school accountability practices such as lesson observations and book scrutiny, learning walks and in-person parents' meetings. Pretending that things can carry on as though there is no pandemic is a recipe for disaster.
We want you to know that your union is fighting on all fronts to protect you, our schools and communities throughout the pandemic. On safety, we are demanding that clinically extremely vulnerable people and those in late pregnancy be allowed to work from home. We want employers to follow World Health Organization advice on providing medical-grade masks for vulnerable staff.
To suppress the spread of the virus, we have produced a checklist that lays down standards on social distancing, masks, parents or staff meetings, and cleaning and ventilation. In our communities, we are demanding that government take whatever action is needed to get virus levels falling again. We have produced a Covid-19 map on community infection rates to help share information and have asked that serious consideration is given to secondary schools and sixth form colleges moving to rota operation.
We are sending regular bulletins to reps and members giving urgent advice, and we've developed a new app which allows them to report concerns. We've also published a do's and don'ts poster which sets out minimum standards for schools and colleges. Our branches are talking to public health officials, and we've written centrally to Public Health England, to the Prime Minister and the Department for Education backing up our demands.
On workload, we are demanding that government suspends Ofsted inspections and league tables, in-school accountability practices and primary testing. We want a plan B for students sitting exams in 2021, that teachers are supported in limiting their directed working hours and support staff to work to the hours in their contract.
We have produced guidance on remote and blended learning, live streaming lessons, staggered starts and finish times and direct employment for our supply staff members. And we are supporting reps and members to ensure they get the right pay rate and the right pay progression. We are also campaigning for fairness for the children we teach.
We want more support for disadvantaged students, the government to close the digital divide and make sure every child in a family eligible for universal credit has a device to work on from home. And we want the free school meal scheme to be extended to eradicate holiday hunger and to ensure uniforms are affordable for families.
We are facing enormous challenges at this time, with members, students and their families coping with life-changing financial, social and emotional upheaval.
But your union will be there for you throughout and be on hand to help with any issues you may face during your working day. Thank you for everything you are doing at this difficult time.
Thank you.